There is a kind of tired that sleep does not fix. You know the one. It lives underneath the functioning. Not the tiredness of working too hard. The other kind. The kind the accumulation of everything made. People who have gone through too much do not always look like it. They show up. They function. They hold others together. What sets them apart is not what they show. It is what the accumulation did on the inside. It burned away everything that was not essential. They cannot be impressed by small things anymore. They cannot be destroyed by new ones either. This video names what the accumulation made. It is easy to look at these people and see damage. That reading misses what the damage became. This is not a story about broken people. It is a story about the specific kind of person that too much creates. Post-traumatic growth is real. The research confirms what survivors already knew. You can be changed by hard things in ways that are not only losses. Viktor Frankl survived the unsurvivable and named what he found on the other side. Meaning. Not despite the suffering, through it. The people who have gone through too much are not who they were before, but what they became is worth naming honestly. Too much is not a single event. It is the accumulation of events that eventually reaches a specific threshold. At that threshold, something changes. Not breaks, changes. The person on the other side is not the person before. Understanding what that threshold created, what the going through actually built, changes how you see the person who went through it. The psychology of accumulated adversity shows something that surprises most people. The body keeps count, even when the mind moves on. Research on post-traumatic growth shows that adversity does not only damage. For many people, it restructures the entire relationship with life. People who have been through too much develop a specific relationship with what matters. The unnecessary drops away. What remains is clear. They stop worrying about things that have not happened. Not from denial, from having survived enough real things to know the difference. They also develop an extraordinary capacity to be present in small, beautiful moments, because they know, viscerally, how quickly things change. The going through taught them what mattered, not as a lesson they chose, as a truth that the accumulation installed, and the relationships they choose become fewer. But the ones they keep become extraordinary, because they stopped investing in surfaces. Has going through too much changed what matters to you? Tell us how in the comments. Someone needs to hear it. The first thing the accumulation builds is a specific kind of stillness. Not peace exactly. Stillness that has earned its quiet. They have been tested at depths most people will never encounter, and they know in their body what they are made of. They do not need to be told everything will be okay. They stopped needing that reassurance somewhere along the accumulation. What they built instead is a relationship with reality, with things as they actually are, not as they were promised to be. This is a hard-won gift, not chosen, arrived at, through the going through and not before. People sometimes mistake their stillness for coldness, their depth for sadness, their peace for not caring. The quietness is not absence. It is the specific quality of someone who stopped performing how they feel. The depth is not sadness. It is the specific weight of someone who carries the full cost of knowing what life is capable of. They are not easy to shake, not because nothing reaches them, because they have learned what is worth being shaken by. The peace others sometimes see in them is not the peace of someone for whom nothing went wrong. It is the peace of someone who survived everything that did. What is the thing going through too much gave you that you did not expect? Tell us below. Someone in the comments needs your answer. But the cost is real, and it deserves to be named. The tired that sleep does not fix is a real thing happening in a real body. The cost of the compulsory strength, of being the one who holds things together before they have been held together themselves. The cost of never fully collapsing, because they learned early that collapsing was not something the situation allowed. The specific loneliness of a depth that most people around them cannot access, of carrying something that cannot always be shared. And yet they keep showing up, keep holding things, keep choosing to be here. That choice, repeated daily, is extraordinary. Nobody names the grief of having been through too much, not the grief of specific losses, the grief of the person you were before the accumulation, the cost of understanding things that most people in the room have not yet had to understand, the loneliness of the knowledge, and the ongoing tiredness. Not new, not fresh, not a crisis, just the chronic background of having been through too much. This is worth naming, not to dwell, not to be defined by it, but because something real deserves to be acknowledged. This is not a story about damaged people. It is a story about what too much created in the people it happened to. The tiredness is real. The earned stillness is real. The peace that has nothing to do with fine is real. All of them built by something that should not have had to happen, but happened. And you are still here. That deserves to be named. Not as a tragedy, not as a triumph, as the honest, extraordinary truth of what you became. If this named something you have been carrying without the right words, drop one thing in the comments. What is the thing that going through too much taught you that nothing else could have? Someone in the comments needs to read exactly what you write. Subscribe. Every week this channel names what the hard things made of you that nobody else thought to say out loud. You are still here. That is not a small thing. It never was.